Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How are you today? And happy Mother's Day. Yay! And to all you single dads out there, happy Mom's Day to you too. Yes. I had a wonderful day. My son and my nephew took me out. We went for brunch and I had, lemon ricotta pancakes with strawberries on top. When I tell you. When I tell you. And then we went to Starbucks, because of course, you know, I'm a Starbucks snob. And then we went out shopping, and Andrew bought me plants, and Zachary, my nephew, he bought me a book. And Andrew also bought me this cookbook. And because the restaurant that we went to was called First Watch. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this restaurant. It's called First Watch. And they're only open for breakfast and lunch. And they close at like 2:30. And so I wanted the recipe to the lemon ricotta, right? And the waitress, she's like, well, you know, you got to get the recipe book. And I'm like, all right. So I got another cookbook. So I will be sharing these recipes with you. Yes. And, you know, because I love you. So anyway, grab your coffee. Yes. Maybe a snack or two. If you got them, eat them. And let's get into it, right? Yesterday, a lot of you guys were saying, you know, I can't afford the Chase, JASE, and MIRA and stuff like that. I get it, okay? But the reason why I went with Jace and MIRA, okay? Jace is easy to go through, okay? And with MIRA, I like their product. All right. And, you know, I like to share the stuff that I buy and the companies that I deal with. Okay. Because you know me, I'm not going to tell you guys that I bought something and that, you know what I mean? If it's not good stuff. If it's good enough for me, you know what I mean? I feel that it would be good enough for you guys too. All right. I like to share what I get with my, you know, for my preps with you guys. Because in this community, I feel that when we bounce ideas off of each other, it's going to help somebody. If it helps one person, I feel my job is done. Okay. So. All right, there's some things that I wanted to share with you, okay? And this is one of them. This is awful, okay? The Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, he appointed a global food security envoy as the, you know, conflict, right, continues to disrupt global grain supply. Now, why does this matter? The appointment of Cary, and that's C-A-R-Y, Fowler, F-O-W-L-E-R, he's been appointed to this position, which has existed, but only since 2016. Now, this is meant to bring high-level political attention to the issue. Now, the conflict has disrupted the world's cereal crop supply, for example, okay? Nearly 40 million people could be pushed into food insecurity and poverty as a result of this conflict. And that is according to World Bank estimates. This is in addition to the 161 million people driven into food insecurity as a result of the pandemic and other world conflicts. Now, the exportation between Russia and Ukraine, okay, almost 30% of the globe's wheat, okay. The conflict has already caused a significant drop in these exports as Ukrainian farmers flee their country. And the big R, they aimed missiles at food security facilities. How low? How low can you possibly go? So, the Assistant Secretary for Economic and Business Affairs, by the name of Ramin, not the noodle, Ramin, and the last name, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, it's Toloui. They said, the tragedy is that people thousands of miles away from the Ukraine, in vulnerable countries in the Middle East, Africa, Latin America, they're also suffering because of the invasion. Now, this guy, Carrie Fowler, previously worked at the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization and the Global Crop Diversity Trust. Now, Blinken called this guy the father of the Svalbard, Svalbard, Global Seed Vault. The Doomsday Vault in the Norwegian mountain designed to protect seed supplies from plague and attack in case they're needed to plant future crops. We'll get more into that in a second. He said, I will count on his strategic vision and advise as we advance efforts with the international community to address the many challenges to global food insecurity, nutrition, and food systems. Okay, so now this Svalbard, okay, now when I read this, I'm like, mud on a me, okay? It's a long-term seed storage facility built to stand the test of time and the challenge of natural or man-made disasters. The seed vault represents the world's largest collection of crop diversity. All right. Worldwide, more than 1,700 gene banks hold collections of food crops for safekeeping. Yet, many of these are vulnerable, exposed not only to natural catastrophes and war, but also to avoidable disasters, such as lack of funding or poor management. Something as mundane as poorly functioned freezer can ruin an entire collection. As the loss of a crop variety is as irreversible as the extinction of a dinosaur, animal, or any form of life. So what is the purpose of this? I'll tell you. It was the recognition of the vulnerability of the world's gene banks that sparked the idea of establishing a global gene vault to serve as a backup storage facility. The purpose of the vault is to store duplicates or backups of seed samples from the world's crop collections. Now, permafrost, that's one word, Permafrost, and the thick rock ensure that the seed samples will remain frozen even without power. Yeah, the vault is the ultimate insurance policy for the world's food supply, offering options for future generations to overcome the challenges of climate change and population growth. It will secure millions of seeds representing every important crop variety available in the world today. It is the final backup. So where is it? The vault is in an ideal location for long-term seed storage, for several reasons. The area is geologically stable. The vault is well above sea level, protecting, hang on, it moved, my bad. It is the farthest north a person can fly on a scheduled flight, offering a remote location that is nevertheless accessible. The entrance may be visible. The vault itself is over 100 meters into a mountain. The area is geologically stable and humidity levels are low. The vault is well above sea level, protected from ocean flooding according to worst case scenario sea level rises. And the permafrost offers the vault room from a natural freezing, providing a cost-effective and fail-safe method to conserve seeds. So then the storage. The seed vault has the capacity to store 4.5 million varieties of crops. Now, I want you to look at your own seed banks that you have. How many different varieties of seeds do you have? Yeah, I got about 45. And how many years of seeds have you stockpiled so far? Think about it. In all reality, how many years? Me, 5 years. Okay? 4.5 million varieties of crops. Did you even know that there was 4.5 million varieties of crops? Me either. So each variety will contain on average 500 seeds. So a maximum of 2.5 billion seeds may be stored in the vault. Currently, the vault holds more than 1 million samples originating from almost every country in the world, ranging from unique varieties of major African and Asian food staples such as maize, rice, wheat, cowpea, sorghum, to European and South American varieties of eggplant, lettuce, barley, and potato. In fact, the vault already holds the most diverse collection of food crop seeds in the world. The focus of the vault is to safeguard as much of the world's unique crop genetic material as possible, while also avoiding unnecessary duplication. It will take some years to assemble because some gene banks need to multiply stocks of seed first, and other seeds need regenerating before they can be shipped to Svalbard. Here's my question. Are these heirlooms? Are these non-GMO seeds? Where do they all come from? That's my question. For a complete overview of the samples stored at the vault, you can visit NordGen's public online database, and that's NORDGEN, and that's one word, okay? Now, a temperature of minus 18 degrees Celsius is required for optimal storage of the seeds, which are stored and sealed in custom-made 3-ply foil packages. The packages are sealed inside boxes and stored on shelves inside the vault, and the low temperature and moisture levels inside the vault ensure low metabolic activity, keeping the seeds viable for long periods of time. it's just, I have so many questions. So many. So let's get into what some of you guys have sent me. Okay. So this subscriber said, you were right about the Ball Shore seal lids. The lids are still good. I also purchased 2 heads of garlic about 3 weeks ago from Wally World. I have 4 cloves left from a head of garlic I bought over 6 months ago, and they're still good. Go figure. Huh. Look at that garlic. And those lids. Rustomania. And when you see this picture, tell me what you think it is. A subscriber sent this in. She don't live too far from me. She said, why the circles and the swirls? Any idea? That was not made by a plane, girl. No. And this subscriber, she said, the price of chicken went up again at Walmart's, the canned chicken. She said, on this last 3 days, I was looking for the price of the Walmart.com for the 4-pack of the canned chicken. She said, when I see 3 or 4 of my of the Walmart price go up from $7.98 to $9.98. So it went up $2 in 3 days. What a joke. And this subscriber, she sent in some priority prepping. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I will just say that. But your priority prepping needs to get amped up just a little bit more, Missy Sissy. Yes. All right, I had to change my glasses because this document to read is really small. So if I can put it in the video for you, I will. But I'm going to read it, okay? And just listen, all right? Now this was sent in, okay? It says guidance for parish disturbances. Here are recommendations in the event of any targeted protest, picketing, or other attempts to disrupt liturgies. Parish grounds, church, and schools are private property. Protesters have legal rights to protest near a church, but they cannot block access to the church or the school. If protesters show up, invite them to conduct their protest on the public sidewalk or shoulder of the road without blocking any entrances to the parish, driveways, or parking lots. Protesters have the right to free speech, but they do not have the right to distribute flyers or communicate with parishioners without prior permission. So I'm guessing that this was given to my subscriber from her church, okay? And then it goes on to say, call local law enforcement if protesters show up unexpectedly. Don't respect private property or make people feel threatened in any way. Do not engage with protesters, and instruct staff, volunteers, and parishioners not to respond to the protesters. Instruct ushers or parish staff to monitor people entering the church building. Look for any large, long, or bulky items that may be protest signs or used to cause a disturbance. Politely ask people to return these items to their cars. Use common sense to assess whether the items are necessary, like a diaper bag, etc. Place ushers in the back of the church to watch For any threatening or suspicious actions, these ushers should have cell phones in order to summon assistance if that becomes necessary. Once the mass begins, consider limiting the number of exterior entrances into the building and or church, and have people stationed at that entrance to monitor who is coming in. And if protesters disrupt the liturgy, remain calm. Ask protester to leave the property and instruct ushers to escort them out of the building. Never use physical force. Request law enforcement assistance to remove protesters from the church if necessary. Do not continue the liturgy until the disturbance has ended and protesters have departed. And then it says, ask parishioners to wait quietly or ask them to offer a prayer for peace. Wow. You know, it's really sad that our churches have to give these things out to parishioners. So this was sent to me, and it says, my job just said Loves has reported a fuel shortage in these states, and it will happen in days to come. Can you find out and put it on YouTube? Here are the states, and I work for Werner, W-E-R-N-E-R. I'm a truck driver. North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. Huh. Okay, there you go. I put it out there. Okay, so this was sent to me. It says diesel prices have surged since the conflict scrambled global markets as efforts to isolate our restricted supplies from one of Europe's most important producers of fuels, U.S. Gulf Coast. Oh, that's where I live. I live on the Gulf Coast. Refiners have stepped up to fill the global void, sending more exports to Europe and Latin America at the expense of the U.S. East Coast. The effects are trickling down to consumers, with the national average retail price for diesel rising to a record on Friday. Yeah, you should see the price of diesel. It's almost $6 here. It said fuel supply East Coast. Fuel supply on the East Coast is extremely tight and is expected to tighten further in the coming days. Diesel outages at the truck stop level are intermittently expected. We encourage operators to go into the East Coast as fuel as possible on diesel fuel over the next 2 to 3 weeks to avoid any delays or extensive fuel costs. Night, bug. Here you go. This cat, you don't stop. So this subscriber says she was at the register at, oh, hush your mouth, little sir. At Walmart, the cashier tells her that she can't sell large refill bottles of hand soap. So she says she was kind of shocked as to why she couldn't purchase hand soap, but she said that's okay. She wasn't in any urgent need of hand soap. Will you quit? But she was just stocking up for her family. I've heard you talk about all the craziness of Walmart's doings, but this one really takes the cake. Hand soap. Why couldn't someone buy hand soap? I don't know. That is really strange. Hand soap, of all things. What the heck? Hand soap. Thank you. And you just smudged my glasses. Thank you. So, now this, a 3-letter agency is tracking millions of phones to see if Americans followed lockdown orders. Oh, God. And this subscriber has a question for the community. He said, I I just learned last night that iodized salt is no good after 5 years because of the potassium iodide it contains. My question is, can it still be used as plain salt? It just won't be iodized. I enjoyed the commentary about the Black Horse in Revelation the other night. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Blessings to you and your family, Steve. Oh, well, blessings to you, sweetheart. Thank you. You know, I'm really not that quite sure. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. Stormy, come on, honey. So maybe someone in the community has the answer for you, okay? And before I go, here is an update from the Czech Republic in Prague, okay? She said, I noticed some increased air traffic over the last few weeks, and it really makes you wonder. Now, I don't mind the noise too much, but when you hear an entire summer's worth of air traffic in 1 hour, it really makes me worry. What are we not being told? We live very south in the city, away from where other foreigners tend to live, and the airport is in the far northwest side of the city. Sure, I get increased traffic as basically not much is coming west, but you would think flight patterns would correct a bit further north than right over our house. Stormy, stop it. If you look at a map of Europe approaching from the south, heading northwest, doesn't make a lot of sense. I just wanted to share today's observation. Thank you, sweetheart. That is very strange. That is very, very strange. Stormy, stop it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless. Happy Mother's Day.